My name is Lirong. I am an artist of sculpture.
Hello and welcome to Art, the podcast where we get up close and personal as we get to know women from around the world of visual arts. I'm Chris Stafford and this is Season 2, Episode 50, our season finale. My guest this week is the Chinese sculptor Lirong Luo. Lirong says, most important to me is to create my artwork freely and show people what I'm ready to show and what is interesting for me to show the world. Lirong's sculptural work is influenced by Renaissance and Baroque techniques, an interest she developed while studying art in Beijing. This influence is evident in the lifelike quality and grace of her figures, often women, captured in motion. Their poses are elegant, elongating their bodies, and Lirong's attention to detail in skin folds and garment drapery imbues them with a sense of vitality. The dresses and garments of her sculptors often appear windswept, creating a compelling dichotomy between realism and a fantastical element. But her early life was not easy. Growing up in a small village in China, Lirong's path was filled with hard work and a determination to prove, without anyone to show her the way, that a Chinese woman could become a successful international artist. In this episode, she shares her story of resilience, her vision and artistic prowess, and how she created her own path in the art world. Lirong was born in the Hunan province in 1980. Her parents, Waifu Luo and Ayu Guo, are both farmers. She has a brother, Liping Luo. In 1998, Lirong entered the Changsu Academy of Arts in Changsu, Hunan, and from 2000 to 2005, she studied sculpture at the Central Academy of Fine Arts in Beijing, graduating with honours. Lirong met her future husband, the Belgian sculptor Arnaud Laroche, while they were students together. And once Lirong graduated, the couple decided to move to Europe. They first lived in Paris, where Lirong worked in a chocolate factory, before moving to Belgium. It was here that she established a studio and in 2014 held her first exhibition. By 2017, Lirong had hit the big time, and now her work can be seen in galleries in France and Belgium. Lirong lives in Beersel, Belgium, with her husband Arnaud Laroche and their daughters Olivia and Maya. Lirong, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for taking time to do this, because I know you're very busy getting ready to go on vacation back home to China.
Thank you, too, for having me. Thank you.
Thanks to the introduction from Eleanor Cardoza, who I know she is a big fan of yours. Eleanor told me about your work, and of course it's absolutely fabulous. We had to have you on the show, so I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. And thanks, Eleanor. And she's very nice, and she makes also wonderful artworks. I like them.
I'm looking forward to hearing your story because it's a very interesting journey. Tell us, where is it exactly you are now?
I live in Belgium now. There is 18 years already. So it's not far away from Brussels.
I read that you spent some time in France.
Yeah. Actually, that's the first year when I arrived in Europe. I live in Paris during 1 year. And there is much too complicated it's very beautiful city, but for us, for me and my husband, we were very young artists, just get our graduate from high school, university, fine art school. It's quite difficult for us to pay everything so expensive and no spaces for our sculpture because we are both artists of sculpture.
You mentioned your husband. Where did you meet him?
We met in China, in Beijing. actually, exactly in my school, a Central Fine Art School in Beijing, the best art school of China, of course. And there was cultural exchange between Beaux-Arts Paris. It means the Fine Academy Fine Art School of Paris and our school. Between the two schools, there was cultural exchange, and they come to our school. There were 27 students from Paris, and we met together. We make the sculptures together, and we make the exhibition together.
And so, where does he come from originally, then, Arnaud?
So from Vosges. It's not very far away from Brussels. No. 400 kilometers, but in France. She's French.
So this is something then, the art, the sculpting, is something that you have always done?
Yeah, exactly. Start from age of 19, doing the modeling, with clay. So very classical way to training it. So I went into the school, Fine Art School of China is from 2000. And at that time we start learning the classic modeling very seriously with many wonderful teachers.
So you were very formally trained then all your life as a professional. As soon as you were in school, you've had that formal training. Very structured.
Yeah. During 5 years, every day, we must be present and 8 hours a day. So every day during 5 years, just training on classical with modeling.
So where did this interest in clay and sculpting, where did it all begin for you? Because your parents are both farmers and you grew up in the Hunan province in China. So a very different background. Okay, they might be used to mud and clay in the ground, but how did you become so interested in clay as an art form?
That's a very good question. So, in fact, since I am very young childhood, I already, I love to draw to paintings or about art creations. I love those kind of things. But after, there in my family or around us, there is no art, nothing about art, no artists. So, I just let my dreams just, besides, I'm in the center of the family that told me that I must be a teacher to get some job, future, and also, maybe I'm medicine, a doctor, and, or something like, you can easily find a job, but never art. When I was 18 years old, I must choose my function, how to say, which kind of things I would like to do. At that time, I must choose to a higher school, to college. So I have never forget my dreams about art. At that time, it's very nearby the big examination of, 18 years for China is very, for Chinese 18 years, it's a very important age that you can change your life or future. If you pass, you will get that job. If you don't pass this, everything will be very difficult in your life. So, at that time, I need to choose what can I do in the future. At that time, just the dreams come back. I must choose. So I only have one dreams is about art. So at that time, I decide to learn seriously about drawing, about painting. And a few months after, I passed one exam to go to a higher school, a college. Sorry, I don't know how to say it. It's after 18 years old, we go to the school. It's one kind of a school, only for art. It's in Hunan province in China. At that time, we need to choose to do something about many different directions. It means painting or drawing or sculptures or design for 3D. So the lesson I have choose the sculpture that is teacher whose name is Xiao Xiaoqiu. And during the lessons, he find out that I have very good feelings and good at the 3D of clay of sculpture. So he just asked me that continue to do sculpture. Don't do something else because you are good at it. At that time, this school is not really good for sculpture, but he asks me to do some more training to go to the best art school of China. And with his help, I made 1 year training with him. And after I get the chance that successful going to this school, it's very difficult, but I have a very good chance to meet him. And he really, if it's not him, I will not choose sculpture. That's what I wanted to say.
Did you feel that you had a natural talent then, Zhang? Was that something you felt as a young adult, as a teenager? Did you feel that this is what I want to do, but actually I know I'm pretty good at it, because you clearly have a natural eye for it?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's quite difficult that I tell you about myself that I have a very good talent. But yes, my teacher told me, yes, I have a lot of talent about sculptures, and others also. So what can I say is, I'm love to do this and love to touch the clays. And sometimes there is only a feeling. I have no word to explain why I feel this is beautiful, that is not beautiful. It's feelings. So maybe we can call this talent. I don't know.
But what about your family, though? I know they were both farmers and you have a brother too. Was anyone interested in what you were doing? Did anyone have any interest in art generally and encourage you, maybe show you museums and galleries and maybe on TV or magazines? Was there some way to expose you as a young child to the art that you were clearly interested in?
Oh, no, not at all. Because, we live in a very small village of China. So I have never visited a museum or see some film or listen to some music. No, just, we even have not enough to eat and not enough to the clothes. I always, I cannot get some beautiful clothes for girls, what I mean. So it's quite difficult the condition of life. So it's not about what we are thinking about in Europe or in USA. There are many chances to visit a museum or galleries. No, it's not the same.
So your parents then, obviously no fault of their own, they had no example or people to introduce you to, or ways to show you how this could become a career for you. So it was down to you and your determination and your interest. But when you were a small child and you were on the farm, what kind of things were you doing? I always love to hear as a child you might have been playing. Were you interested in drawing? Was it animals on the farm? What was it that was interesting you as a small child?
What is very interesting for me is, we have some books of school, and on the books there are some images, very basic image, from the government who gives us some ideas about learning. But even those, very interesting to remake it with my way, copy it. Also, I imagine something and I try to get some very big paper to draw very big drawings and paintings. I just, so interested in it. Maybe it's because, we have nobody around about art, and also my parents, they didn't support me to do art. So it's so curious for me, because people doesn't want you to do this. So what you want to do is I need to do this. I would like to do this. The only thing I want is to do this. When it's forbidden.
Yes. Very, very hard. But when you were growing up then, whilst you were still with your family then, Lirong, were you working and helping on the farm?
All the time. When I live with my parents every day after school, the first thing is not finish my homework, is helping my parents first. After, when I have time, I will finish my homework.
So this was both you and your brother had to help on the farm then?
Yeah.
And what kind of things did you do?
All around, the rice field. So we need work very hard when it's very hot. Also, I was very young. I go into the, field.
To the field?
Lots of water. Yeah, water, and no shoes, against the water, just feet without shoes. Yeah, it's quite difficult for a child to do this every day. But after, I find out that I have a lot of quality, resilience, and also a lot of strength. I think it's from that time. I'm very happy that I have done those when I was young. It's not easy, but when I'm grown up, when I face a lot of difficult situations, I'm not afraid. I just be courage, with a lot of strength. I have done very difficult, more than this. So that helps a lot, I think.
You'd have to be strong.
Yeah.
Develop the resilience and, as you say, become courageous.
Courage.
Yes, the courage.
Yeah, when you work in the condition very difficult, you need a lot of courage, because it's so hot, it's so hard. And also you need standing there hours and hours, repeat the same action.
Yes.
Thousands times. So it's very, it's a chance for me to pass by this time.
Doing that work every day, and then after you finish, you come home from school, you help on the farm, and then you come back to the house and you have to do your homework. So I would imagine there's very little time to play with other children or have any other activities outside of that.
Yeah, but there is some different seasons. Sometimes there is a lot of work, but in the winter, there's no work to do, Everything is stopped up. So I have time at that time. I have time to play, to draw, to painting, to play with my small, little friends.
Yes, so you did have time for that then. And
sometimes, it depends which season.
Was there any part of that childhood, although you said it was very disciplined and it made you be strong and courageous, but is there anything that you think was valuable to you in your development when you came into the Western world and were free to express yourself? Do you look back and think, I'm glad of that discipline, because you just said it, it made you strong. So there were some good things from that then that you were able to bring into your adult life.
Yeah, it was a very good thing. Of course, at first I didn't notice this is a good thing, because it was a difficult time for me, for a young child. For everybody, it's not easy. But when I pass some difficult times, I need to find every solution by myself. When you leave your home, when you are alone. So at that time, year after year, I find out that sometimes, I can stay in one situation, even it's difficult. I can stay a long time inside to find the solutions. So after I find out, I think which these kinds of quality from, I think it's from my childhood.
What was your parents' reaction to you being so determined to go into the arts, because they had no way of being able to help you, to guide you with any life experiences of their own? And so you were going, as far as they were concerned, as parents, you were going into the unknown, this new world of being an artist and becoming a professional artist. So what was their reaction to it then? And what is their reaction to you now being so successful?
At first, they can't not understand me, and they are angry and also not happy. Yeah, angry, not happy. And they worried about my future, that I cannot find a job to get enough to eat and to have a family. So they are quite worried about this, and they don't want I choose this way. They don't want.
And now?
And now they are very happy, because I have, the chances that my parents have come to Europe twice, 3 months each time, and they find out that my life is so, I enjoy it. They can see that I'm happy about my life, and I enjoy my job. I enjoy the creating, and I just love to stay in the workshop. They saw this. That's why they are happy for me now.
Yes, it must be a tremendous relief for them that you proved that you were right in your choice of career, and you've become so successful. And also, as you say, as a mother now of 2 daughters yourself, and with a husband and a very happy home in Europe, you really have the complete picture now, Lirong, and they can see that you've become successful and also very happy in your life.
Exactly.
I'm hoping they can be content now with that, because it clearly was a very uncertain time when you were younger. What about your brother? What did your brother finish up doing?
My brother is owner of a factory, makes some iPad,
iPads, yes.
Yeah, not iPad completely, the little parts of these kinds of stuffs. So
okay.
He's a factory owner. Of course, we take care of it with his friends, not alone. He's not alone.
And this is in China?
It's in China, yeah.
And you're able to go back and visit, and they're able to come and visit you. So you feel like you're where you want to be and very content with your life?
Yeah, I'm very content about my life right now with my husband, with my 2 children. So I love living in Belgium. It's a very nice country. And of course, because I get grown up about my art, about my career, or in this country. And I thanks a lot this country. There is a lot of chances, a lot of people very nice. And especially my gallerist, the first gallerist who has trusted in me completely and also supporting me with a lot of strengths, with a lot of ideas. So I'm very happy here, living here.
Let's just go back to your college, your university, and your years of studying there in China. I'm curious, Lirong, how you funded that. How does that structure work in China? How do you pay for your specialist education like art school?
In my school at that time is the most expensive school of China. So government let us a chance that for the poor students, we have a chance to get a credit from bank. So I pay my, education of high school from the bank credit because my parents cannot pay it.
Well, that's what I was thinking, and it would not be cheap, I'm sure.
Yes, the art school is the most expensive school of China.
And whilst you were in university, you participated, I understand, in it with a public sculpting project and something that was shown at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing. Tell us about that.
Okay, so I know that people are interested in it, but I was just a young student. I just, I have to do one part of those many sculptures. I'm not alone. It's a group works. So I don't have a lot of things to say about that because it's really a little part. Just a little part of this. I just start to learn how to do the sculpture in the school. So yeah, it's not my idea. It's not my design. It's not my project. I just happen to be one part of this. Yeah.
But I know that you have your fingerprints on it.
Maybe we can find it.
And you will go down in history as having your fingerprints on that famous Olympic sculpture. So tell us, when you graduated then, how was life looking for you? Were there choices that you could make, or did you just have to find your way and get lucky?
Okay. So I graduated from the university. It was 2005. At that time, the most important question is about with my boyfriend. So now he's my husband, okay? We must make a choice. If it's him to come to China to live with me, or I choose go to Paris, live with him. Anyway, we need to get married to live together. If not, we will have no stories anymore. So we have to think about everything. We decide that it's me move to Paris. That's why I come to Europe. It's me. So when we finished our school, university, we are not artists yet. We're just a young student out of school. So it's very difficult. Exactly like my parents told me that I have no chance to get a job, to get something to eat every month, have some money to use. No, I have no this kinds of possibility. It's quite, how to say, I have a lot of dreams, but the reality is very poor. There is no choice. So I must to help some artists who is like Wang Du or Anna Rochette. They are the artists who live in Paris. Wang Du is a very famous sculptor. He's Chinese. I'm doing this assistant of the artist to get some money for every month. It's not easy, but it's very good experience, of course.
Yes, absolutely. But you also were very brave to take that plunge, to jump in the deep end of the pool when you were so young.
Yeah, I was so young, so I have no idea about the difficult. I have no idea. That's why I'm very brave. But if it's now, if I need to change a country to live completely, I have 2 children, I have many things around me. I don't think that I can make this decision so easily right now.
Very courageous. At what point then did Arno become your husband, from being a boyfriend and being students together, and then you came to Paris? When did he propose? When did you get married, and where did you get married?
Well, Vosges, also in the hometown of my husband, we get married there. Yeah. We get to know each other is from 2001, but our graduate of universities, it was 2005. There is almost 4 years that we need separate, but in between lovers. What I mean, so it's very difficult. We are so in love, and we see each other only once a year. And they came to come to Beijing to visit me, to stay 1 month at most, and the separation, how to say, when they need to go back to Paris, it was very difficult between us. It's a long and difficult love story, and we just want to get married if we can, as soon as we can, to live together. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful love story.
So how old were you? What year was that when you got married?
Married, I was 25 and he was 26.
That makes all the difference to you being able to stay in Europe then. Once you became his wife, you were able to stay there.
Exactly, yeah.
Did you then just settle down then and concentrated completely on your artwork and your sculpting?
Of course, at first year, in Paris, it was very difficult. We have no space, no studio to do something. What I can do is try to find the place, the time in our very small room, 14 meter squares, to make some painting and drawings, very limited. But after one friend of us told us that in Brussels, it's a city that's not far away from Paris. It's very easy